Welcome back to our live chat with some technical issues, but we solved it. So we are happy to be back again, and we were just talking with Sarah from Sarah Style Designs about brush lettering and hand lettering and some of her products she really loves and likes to use. And we got so inspired, which is just fantastic. Yeah. At the very end of this little chat where we want to just welcome another fantastic lady, stay tuned because we have some goodies for you. But now we have the pleasure to welcome another lovely lady and passionate artist. Like I said in the first part, so if you missed the first part, hop over to IGTV and watch it full length. Frau Hölle is joining us now. So Tanja is a watercolor artist, a coach, a blogger, a founder of the Frau Hölle Studios, and she is a graduated engineer. She worked as a web designer, product manager, so a long history. And yes, all the time she was doing art, I believe. And finally she started to turn her passion into a profession, which is just so inspiring as well. And we would love to say hello now to Tanja. Tanja, are you there? Fantastic. Tanja? Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
It's good, at least. I can see and hear you.
That's even better.
That's true.
Oh,
hi, now we can see you.
She is.
Hallo Tanja, wie geht es dir?
Good evening. I'm fine. How are you girls?
Oh, fine, thanks.
So I see that you are in your studio and workroom.
Yes, I am. Of course I am. I love my studio.
So we were talking a little bit with Sarah before in the part one of Tuesday talk, brush lettering and hand lettering. And we are so excited what you want to tell us or give us tips and tricks how to start. Or maybe you want to first maybe introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure, I can do this. So, my name is Tanja Cappell. My nickname is Frau Hölle, which is only a nickname. It's not my real name. It has nothing to do with hell in English, so it's really just a creative nickname, by the way. So, I was an engineer, as you said before. I became an engineer many years ago, and then I started my lettering and watercoloring career. And my passion, I think, more than 5 years ago. So yeah, I'm also just like Sarah and many of the viewers actually a lettering and watercolor artist since more than 5 years. I founded my Frau Hölle Studio here in beautiful Munich in the center, well, nearly the center of Munich in 2016, I think. Yeah, we had 4th birthday this year.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. It's always so incredible. 4 years, such a long time now. And yeah, so this is our studio in Munich where we offer, pre-corona, we offered real-time workshops and offline workshops, and now we offer online workshops. At the moment, we are creating the academy, which is also the academy setup here. So kind of an online workshop course system. So which is for the next, hopefully not corona safe time, that everybody can join my online workshops. Yeah, and we have an online shop, so we offer everything from A to Z, combining lettering, watercoloring, and other creative techniques and stuff, because we love creative stuff.
Incredible.
Many projects.
Always. Never enough.
But they are all creative, so that's fine.
Yes, absolutely. They have to be creative, unless it's not us.
Very good.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, would you like to show us what you are doing on how you're painting or lettering and things like that? Your techniques, the pens and papers that you're using.
And especially tips and tricks.
Yes.
Everyone wants to know.
Always, it's my pleasure. I think you've heard many things always before, because there are many things and tips and tricks that are kind of the same for every artist, but I think it's never enough. So in case I just say it once, twice, or whatever, I think it's always best to get to know what paper to use, what pencil to use, and yeah, how to start. So I will switch my camera just like Sarah did, and then we meet again on my desk, hopefully. Let's try. So
Tanja, in case there are some questions popping in, can we just
yes,
bombard you with questions?
absolutely.
Very good.
Feel free to always ask me anything you guys want to know. Okay, I hope you can still see and hear me fine on half of the screen.
Yes.
Yes, that's good. So, yeah, I just, well, perhaps I just say that I really, really love brush lettering. So I want to focus on my tips and tricks telling you tonight on brush lettering, because I think it's such a lovely art and technique to create a kind of calligraphy effect, but with more modern and easier tools and techniques like the traditional pen and nib combination, which is kind of hard to master, to be honest, even for me. So this is why I want to focus on brush lettering with brush pens. And in order to create such creations and to master brush lettering, it's very, very important and let's say crucial to know what kind of brush pens you're using when you begin. So in order to know this, you have to look at your brush pens, or know. Most of the times when you do brush lettering more than once, you know what pens you use and what they look like and what they feel like. It's very, very important to know if you use nylon-based brush pens, which are always smaller brush pens, medium or larger-based brush pens, which always, most of the times, have fiber tips, or if you use a traditional brush, because of course you can also do brush lettering with a regular brush, which has nothing to do with a brush pen, but it's also fine. So let's just move on quickly, and I want to show you the differences between the pens, because I think this is the most crucial thing to know in order to get started with brush lettering. So here you can see I'd say the smallest brush pens on earth, probably. Two of them at least.
That's tiny.
They are tiny, teeny tiny, yeah, but the coolest thing about them is that they are absolutely solid. You can't damage them. Well, at least I didn't manage to, because they have very, very tiny nylon brush tips, and nylon is such a hard material. So you can use them on any kind of paper you want, on watercolor paper, even on rough watercolor paper, on craft paper, on every structure paper you want. You can use those teeny tiny nylon tip brush pens, and that's why I absolutely adore them. I have always one of them in my pockets, which is why. So this is the small world, let's say the small brush lettering world. The bigger brush lettering world is already medium-sized world, like the Faber-Castell Artist brush pen, which Sarah also used before, which is, you can see, a bit bigger already than the teeny tiny ones, but you can't really see it. So you have to know it, that this one is already a fiber and fine tip brush. So be careful whenever you use those tips and not nylon brushes, because these ones might fray when you don't use very, very smooth paper. This is what you guys said in the early beginning of this live stream. I think this is the most important thing and rule you have to remember. Whenever you use the fiber tip pens, you have to use smooth paper. So this is the medium world, and then let's go on and move on to the biggest brush pens on earth, I'd say, which is, for example, and there are many, many other brands, of course, on earth, the Stabilo brush pen or the Tombow brush pen. You see here the differences in the sizes. I hope you can see it at least. Yeah, I think you can see it quite nicely. So just like a small comparison, this is the right size comparison. Yes. So you can see all the different sizes of brush pens on the market, from the smallest one, nylon brush tip, fiber, fiber, fiber. So be careful whenever you use those three types of brush pens because you have to use really, really smooth paper so that the tips won't fray and damage in the end your whole lettering, which is not nice. And of course, those brush pens, like the Tombow brush pen, are most of the times not too cheap, but quite expensive. So you really want to keep it like it was when you bought it. Many, many years, hopefully. And in the end, of course, there's also a regular brush that you can use. Most of the times I use synthetic hair brushes for my real brush lettering because they are easier to control than real brush hair brushes. So yeah, this was the kind of introduction into my demo, and now I will show you which.
There's one question popping in regarding the first pen you showed us, the brush pen, the nylon one. I guess it was the most tiniest one in the world.
Yeah, I think so. The first one. But I didn't know that there are so many different brush pens as well. It's always very interesting.
Yeah, but to be honest, I never really tried brush lettering or hand lettering on my own because I think that handwriting is such a crucial thing.
Back again.
There we are.
So many technical issues tonight. I'm so sorry.
No
I think
worries,
my
no worries.
phone just tried to turn off. Well,
So there was one question regarding, I believe, the first brush or pen you showed, the tiny one, I believe.
Yeah, someone was asking what kind of pen was it that you showed as the first one.
all right. So one of them was a Tombow Fudenoska with a hard tip, and the other one is the Pentel brush sign pen. These are the smallest and sturdiest brush pens on earth that I know, at least. So back to my demonstration finally, and I hope my phone stays on now. All right, so guys, you've already seen it before, and Sarah demonstrated it, but I also really, really love this paper. It was one of my first hand and especially brush lettering papers, because when I started brush lettering 4 or 5 years ago, there weren't many brands and smooth papers out there, to be honest. So Hahnemühle, which is quite cool, was one of the first to invent such a super smooth paper for our very, very delicate brush pens. So congratulations for this invention, guys.
Thank you.
I think this was really, really important for the market to take brush lettering serious. So yeah, as mentioned before many times, it's a really, really smooth and bright white paper, which always helps your brush pen to stay and remain as it was when you first bought it and used it for the first time. So your brush, which is used in brush lettering with the thin upstrokes and the thick downstrokes, also just as Sarah said before, it's always the same technique, so I can't tell you anything else. It's always the same. But you see, whenever you do an upstroke, it's very, very easy that your tip gets frayed if you're not using a smooth paper. So, and whenever you hear such a, what is it called in English? A quietschen?
A what?
A quietschen on the surface.
Squeaking. Squeaking.
A quietschen. Quietsch.
Lost in translation now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can always just do an example. Quietsch. When this is the audio example of my lost translation.
Very good.
So whenever you hear the sound, it's a good sign. Whenever you hear like a pretty noise, it's not such a good sign. So you see that this, and yeah, you have to feel it. You have to buy this paper and you have to feel it in order to trust me that it's such a smooth and perfect and just wonderful paper for doing brush lettering with a fiber tip pens, like the Tombow and like the Stabilo.
Have you always liked to write? Was it something that you liked to do, writing?
Oh no, absolutely not. This is why I became an engineer.
You were always perfect in writing.
No, absolutely not. I hated writing in school. This is really, to be honest, why I became an engineer. So I could stick to my tastature and to my letters on my tastature. But yeah, then one day in 2014, I found brush lettering on Instagram. And I thought, wow, looks cool. I have to get to know this. I have to master it. Yeah. And yeah, this is how I try to become a master and a professional.
So that means that practicing can bring out everything. So you
absolutely practice.
So practice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. But it's important that progress is very, very important and more important than perfection. I always tell my students, progress, not perfection. Practice is key and king, but not perfection, but only progress is very, very important. Yeah. So we are talking here about the perfect, I think, the perfect paper for beginning or competing or challenging mastering brush lettering, whatever it is. But it's still a paper with, you said before, 170 GSM gram, which is not too thin, but also not too heavy. So whenever you want to create some cards or tags, present tags with your skills, your new brush lettering skills, I recommend you this one, the Bristol paper, which has, well, I'd say the same feeling and smoothness like the other one, but it's much thicker. It has 250 grams, so it's thick enough for you to create, like, I show you, like a card. Because you know, when you get cards, you don't want them to be too thin, because it feels kind of cheap. So I'd really recommend you this Bristol paper to make lovely cards and unique cards. Always remember, you don't have to create something perfect, but you always create something unique when you do your own lettering. Mm-hmm. Very important lesson in life, in lettering life, at least. So yeah, and I also used a Tombow brush pen for this card. So you see, it's a perfect combination of a thick and big brush pen and a smooth paper with a thick grammatur. Yeah, grammage, whatever.
Whatever.
This is the English part.
I really believe everyone understood.
Wonderful. So this was like the bright white papers I wanted to show you and the super smooth papers for brush lettering. So now I will show you some other papers that aren't so smooth, but still smooth enough for most of your brush pens. And they are so cool that I absolutely have to show and demonstrate them to you. So first of them is the black book from Hölle. I think it's available in different sizes, isn't it?
It is available in A4 size and A5, and we have a square size as well.
Oh, I love square sizes.
23.5 by 23.5.
Oh gosh, I'm so into square size, you know, guys.
Square sizes.
Always square size for Frau Hölle. Always, always, always.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Why,
just one question. Why everybody's talking about square sizes? What is your point? Why do you like square sizes so much at the moment?
Oh gosh, well, I am a really early adopter of Instagram, and back in the days when Instagram was invented, Instagram was a square world, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
I think, yeah, this is the reason why. No, I just love the format. It's modern. Yeah. It's fresh.
Yeah,
I love it.
I like it too. Yeah.
There's no other reason why. Instagram and modernity, let's say. So yeah, the black book, which I have here in A4, which is a huge format, can also be used for lettering, and especially with a white brush pen. Be careful. So this is not super smooth paper, but also not as rough as, for example, rough watercolor paper. So it is okay to use a felt tip brush pen like the Faber-Castell Pit Artist brush pen, but don't use it for exercising or practicing your letters. So for exercising, like writing 10,000 A's for mastering your brush lettering A, you really should stick to smooth paper, which I showed you before, and then you can always use this one, for example. And I love the kind of chalky effect that the Faber-Castell brush pen makes and leaves on this black paper. It's just so lovely. And just such another fresh look than black on white, isn't it? Mm. Love it. And what many people don't know, just a very small trick and tip from me, you can always use a, where is it here? A black marker or a black pen on black paper to create depth.
Oh yeah, I understand.
On your lettering. I don't know if you can see it all right, because you know the light is not too good here in the evening in Germany. Sarah had bright light in the morning in the US. But
yeah, it's a little bit late in Malaysia, I just read, because there was one question if we could save it on IGTV, because it seems to be very late. Yes, we will definitely save it on IGTV afterwards.
Wonderful.
Have a good night's sleep.
But that looks so lovely, because there's a kind of 3D effect on the black book with the black, but I never thought that black on black might be seen, but in combination with the white, it's really nice. So it's
yeah, that's why. And you know, it's always also easily made. But please don't practice your letters on the black paper. As much as I love it, don't practice your 10,000 A's on this paper. Also, another thing that I want to show you, just like the family of the black book, at least I think it is, are the gray book and the cappuccino book, which are so lovely surfaces to letter on. Again, they are not super smooth, but smooth enough for your felt tip brush pens. And quite thick and heavy. So I love also lettering with a white brush pen on gray, because as you can see in a very quick demo, it's also just another very modern effect that you can create with it. It's not such a high contrast, but I also love it. It's just another feeling, another look than traditional black.
Sometimes it's the subtle way makes it even more interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And just like lettering with a white brush pen on the gray book and the gray surface, you can of course also use the cappuccino book. Lovely name, lovely paper.
Very good.
And yeah, use a white pen. You don't even have to use a white brush pen. There's also a white normal marker pen from Faber-Castell where you can do normal brush lettering, just like here in my example, a sans serif, cappuccino lettering. And yeah, you can add, of course, colors to your composition. And I always like to add some splashes and dots, because it also makes it look fresh and unperfect, I'd say. And yeah, isn't it a lovely look again? White on cappuccino and cappuccino dots and splashes. I'm so into those colors, guys.
Yeah. And it's something different. It's not always, I mean, paper is mostly white. So we are painting on white paper.
Absolutely.
And doing some hand lettering on colored paper. It's a completely different feeling. And it looks, especially with white, it looks so nice. And
yes.
I'm very happy to see that as well in our gray and cappuccino book.
As you can work some depth in it as well. Yeah, this is really nice. There's one question popping in. Can you use neon pens on this paper?
Neon.
Do you have neon pens?
Pooh, well, I think of course you can use them, but I don't know how they will turn out. To be honest,
I think that on the black and on the in the grey book it won't be that visible.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
you need to use water-based markers, and I think they won't be that visible. It's my impression, I'd say.
Yes,
but I don't
say
know.
too.
Maybe you think it might work. I don't know. You are the expert.
I'm not the neon pen expert and the neon color expert, but I'd also say use neon color pens on white paper to get the biggest and highest contrast of white and neon. Yes.
That's true.
Okay, so in the end, I want to finish my small demonstration. I hope I have enough time left.
No worries.
Okay, we gained another hour. Yay! So, in the end, I just want to quickly show and demonstrate you how you can use, as I said before, a regular brush on watercolor paper. This is, as I said before, a brush, a synthetic hair brush in size 2, so a smaller brush. And you can use those brushes combined with liquid watercolor or use it with, as Sarah demonstrated before, brush pens, water-based brush pens that you put on a surface, on a non-sticky and non-absorbing surface before, and you take them with the brush again and write on it. You guys, of course, know the difference between cold pressed and hot pressed and rough. So it's always a question about the surface and the structure of the surface. And of course, you could also use cold pressed water paper, like here, for example, Britannia, cold pressed water paper with your brushes, because of course, they won't get harmed and frayed. So even if you use real hair brushes, they won't get damaged by a rough paper. You can even use a rough watercolor paper, because in the end, it's just bristles and hairs, isn't it? So no worries about this. But I will and won't recommend you to use smooth watercolor paper whenever you use a brush pen and liquid, I hope you can see it, liquid watercolors. And the reason why is that you can also letter much easier and smoother. I hope you can see my colors all right here. So this is the smooth version of the Britannia watercolor paper. And again, you can use any sort of smooth and hot pressed watercolor paper of Hahnemühle. There's Harmony and Expression and a dozen of other watercolor papers that have a smooth surface, and they are perfect for what.
Tanja, I'm afraid that the screen is frozen at the moment. Are you still there? No. Where's Tanja? Yeah, but it was interesting that, so hopefully she comes back in. Because this was really super amazing and interesting.
Yeah.
What I consider really kind of extreme creative is going on black.
Yeah, I like that a lot, because it's something completely different. You always, as I said, white paper is like the regular, and using black and grey and this beige, I think it's really lovely, and you have completely new possibilities to create new things. And but I'm also very curious to see how she's doing brush lettering on our hot pressed watercolor papers.
Yeah,
but I hope that she will come back and show us that.
Yeah, hopefully hopefully she will. But nevertheless, it was really interesting, especially talking about the products to use for this application or these kind of art. So take care or take good advice for brushes, for pens, for paper, and of course practice.
Yeah, that's a key.
So material plus practice, and I believe patience as well.
Yeah, you need patience because practice so often. I mean, if possible, every day. So you need also a kind of you need to really want it. That's what I said before. When you are in close contact with artists, they motivate you. You get the inspiration from artists as well, and then you get the feedback. It's so motivating, I think, to stick on it and to pay.
And practice 10,000 A's, like Tanja just said.
I think you need to. And it was very interesting to hear that she didn't like to write. I thought when I saw how she's doing hand lettering that she was definitely loved to write in the past as well when she was a little girl or something. But when she said no, she didn't like to write, I was really surprised. But this shows me that even though if you're not good in writing or if you're not perfect in painting, I think practicing, using good quality in material and having advice from other artists and combine this all, I think everybody is able to do something creative, and I think she's the best example because she said she didn't like to write. I was so surprised, and she's now doing perfect writing. I mean,
but her story is really inspiring, like all the projects she handles at the moment.
Yeah, so great.
This is really fantastic.
Yeah,
but again, the best trick and tip would be, practice and accept that it doesn't have to be perfect.
It doesn't have to be progress. Progress is the key.
Exactly. Okay, I'm afraid we lost Tanja on the way, which is really a pity because she was about to do some more brush lettering. But what we will do is we will get in touch with her afterwards and try to make it happen that she maybe gives a bit more hints and tips. Now lost the translation again. Tips and tricks for brush lettering and hand lettering. But as I told you guys in the very beginning of part 1 with Sarah and now part 2 with Tanja, we are about to present you a little bit nice and a little goodie for you guys. So for this special goodie, we prepared something really amazing, and I'm so happy to introduce my colleague Barbara to this chat. You might have seen her before in our first live talk on Tuesday. Barbara is responsible for the social media relations with Hahnemühle. So when you wrote some comments or DMs on our Instagram, it is most likely Barbara who will get in touch and who will answer your questions. She will share, she will get in touch, she will respond, and yes, hi Barbara!
Hello! I'm glad to be here.
And I heard that there are some fantastic goodies for our viewers. And again, these goodies are for part 1 with Sarah and the second part with Tanja.
Yes, we do have some nice goodies to give away. So we have 2 sets today because we had 2 great artists. Thanks to both, and thanks to all the followers who are still watching and gave us some great questions as well. Mm-hmm. So this time we have set up 2 special sets which the artists choose themselves. They choose the products they like. So we have here the Sarah set. That's our colleague Ben. He wants to join as well. He likes the products as well. So we have the one set from Sarah. She chooses the product she's using and she likes. We have the collection 300 GSM, new watercolor paper. We have the hand lettering, and we have the expression paper. And as a new goodie, we also have the bamboo bone folder, which is really nice, and a lot of people are looking for them. So the next set is Tanja's. Tanja, she chose the Harmony hot pressed she's using very often. Then she showed the grey book, which she also chose. And then we have the Bristol. You can't see it now, but we have the Bristol pad for hand lettering as well in it. So the only thing what you have to do, if you would like to get one of these packages, only comment underneath the feed post we will just publish after this live talk. Just comment with Sarah set or Tanya set, and maybe you have maybe you're a lucky winner and get one of the sets we choose, or we raffle 3 of each set. So there's a good chance maybe to get them and try out the great papers the artist used.
And you can comment until, I believe, Friday it was.
Yes, Friday lunchtime, our time, German time. But I will write this in the caption as well. So yeah, we would be really glad to get a lot of comments. And I just wanted to catch up one question which we always get. We love to feature artists, and we would be happy to share your artwork. So yeah, just tag us, tag Harlemühle Global, and it would be really great if you tag the product you are using as well, as we will receive a lot of direct messages when I share them, which product you are using. So it would be great if you can tag the product as well. So that's all from me.
Stunning
from my
sets.
side. Yeah.
Stunning sets, fantastic sets. And again, there were 2 parts due to technical issues. The first part is named Tuesday Talk Brush Lettering and Hand Lettering with Sarah's style designs. Second one, this one now, is with Frau Hölle, Tanja. And yeah, it was so fantastic to have this live talk again with Anna, you and the 2 ladies. It was a blast. And yes, we are now trying to find out which new topic or application or kind of art you are interested in. So if you want to just recommend or suggest other artworks, is it pure watercolor, is it acrylic, is it sketch, just let us know, and we will plan then our next live session.
Yeah, send us a direct message. We're looking forward to it.
So thank you very much for joining. Make sure to see the other IGTV as well, and have a good rest of the day.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.